Sometimes it's hard to find a reason why, when everything is falling and all that's left to do is try your best to keep holding on to the next sunrise. But you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. Sometimes a mountain means it's time to climb higher than you've been before. So hold on tight and close your eyes. You'll make it faster than you know. Closer to the sunrise. 'Cause you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. Where the light is found. Where the light is found. Where the light is found. Just look inside where light is found. You're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. You're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found.
All right, let me get myself on screen. Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday. Yay! And we've got a special guest. He's already sitting in the green room. I can see him there. This is actually going to be my very first time speaking with Dave Scott. So I'm going to be meeting him in a way just like all of you will be for the very first time. We should probably cover a little bit of things that we normally do at the beginning of the show, because after that we'll move into interviewing Dave. So, because we always title our show according to the tarot card that we've pulled. So today, as you can see, the title was called Three of Aether. So tonight's show is called Three of Aether, and that's thanks to Bodicia's Tarot of Earthly Delights. Such a cool deck. We're really beginning to enjoy and appreciate all the beautiful artwork on this deck. So let's find out what Three of Aethers is all about. And of course, we know it seems to always pertain to what is going on and what we're going to be talking about. So let me find the page here so I can look at this picture too. And I'm going to share the camera right now. Here we go. I forgot to do extra camera. Beauty. Here we go. And then we always find that this is the best screen to add that image in. Okay, I bumped the camera because there. And just because, hi everybody, welcome. I can see in the chat coming in. We're just going to remove the comments as we observe and look at this card so you can see it nicely. I've got actually a rue candle burning here. I just figured with the kind of topic that we're going to be talking about with Dave later that I would have my rue plant candle burning, keeping that good mojo going and keeping the bad mojo out. All right, Three of Aether. This is such a beautiful image. This is, okay, Claudette has to take her glasses off her face so she can see clearly. So we've got a heart here full of flowers, roses, some opened up, some not. And look at these interesting insects. It's like, I don't know, would those be scarabs? They've got those big round pinchers around the top. It's in the sky with the sun blazing behind it. So beautiful. Let's find out what this card is talking about. It says 3 beetles tear apart an airborne heart fashioned from a lovely rose bouquet. As the beetles tear at the blossoms, they sully its beauty and ruin its symmetry. Despite this trauma, the heart emits illuminated rays against the dawn sky. All is not lost. Help is on the way. A flock of swallows, hungry for tasty bugs, are flying in from the south. Oh, and you can see them. They're just off in the very distance of the picture, coming up into there. That's beautiful. It's showing us heart, and it's really, I love this. It makes me think of, despite whatever, struggles that we're going through, we will still be able to overcome, and there's going to be a brighter day coming forward. I love the story about the lotus and how the bloom comes out of the mud. Everything, as hard as it is when we're struggling with really difficult things and challenges in our lives, we always need to try to remember and embrace that there is going to be a beautiful day, a beautiful dawn where everything is going to start to make sense again, and we're going to be able to breathe freely. I'm really funny that way, because I'll be in a challenge and I'll already be thinking, I just want to get to that spot where it's like everything makes sense and there's a solution and it's easy again. So I just love this image. Let's look here. It says, when the card is upright, it's talking about heartbreak, disillusion, discord, pointless arguments that go around and around without resolutions. Well, I think we've all experienced that. Taking apart a heart full of roses is risky. Will it fit back together again once the insects have been removed? However, taking apart the heart may be the only way to get rid of the bugs. Kindness, love, and beauty inevitably attract predators. Discernment and strength of character are our best tools to avoid becoming prey. Wow. So this week is talking about how do we deal with great disappointments and heartbreak. And I just think this is really beautiful. It's maybe pushing some of you to consider some arguments are never going to find an end. They're just going to cycle around and around. And what does that look like if you're walking away from that argument and just let it be what it is? So let's look at the symbology on this card. It says the rose heart represents hopes and dreams, love and happiness. The beetles, they represent the destruction, the frustration, the sorrow, and the woe. The illuminated rays are the power to heal that comes from within. And I really have to say, guys, I've gone through something pretty harsh last year. Some of you know I didn't ever go into the details, but it was an emotional, like just a kick in the gut. And that healing has to come from within. There's nobody out there that is going to help you through those hard feelings. The healing comes from inside, and that takes a lot of hard work, just sitting with those uncomfortable feelings. The swallows, of course, represent hope, and rescue is on its way. Well, I'm going to hold on to that, and I hope you all do as well, to know there are swallows representing a rescue and hope along the way. Wow, I don't want to take too much time out because I can see Dave in the studio and I'm not used to talking with someone that's already an audience sitting in there. I want to remind everybody before I forget, because I didn't talk about it on the last show, every month we get together listeners that want to join and see each other face to face for a little bit of good food and some nice fun chat. So we are getting together March 17th, 7 o'clock. That's St. Patty's Day. And we're going to be meeting at Mr. Mike's this time. So anybody who wants to join, we'll just pick a big table. And of course, you're responsible for your own dinner plate, but the conversation's for free. And we'll have a really great time. For February, we had so much fun. Had a few new faces that I hadn't seen before or met in person. So that was really surprising and exciting. And then we did a draw. Christopher, congratulations to Christopher. He won a bag of goodies for Valentine's Day, and we enjoyed a wonderful dinner at Sola's. So I'm looking forward to March 17th at Mr. Mike's on St. Patty's Day. Let me look here. I know normally today is the day that we would be going over our astrology readings for the month. But because we have an opportunity to have Dave Scott on, I thought, we can move our schedule around for Dave, right, guys? So I decided to do that. I'm going to put the comments back on because I forgot to do that. Okay, we got B, David. Janice, she made it in the show. Hi, Lynette. Hey, guys. Are you ready to talk about ghosts? I sure am. Don't forget about CreekCon, too, at the K-Pack. They're starting their very first, it's kind of like Comic-Con, but they're calling it CreekCon. And that's coming up March 14th from 10 till 5 o'clock. It's the Northern Fan Expo. So I think that'll be a lot of fun from 10 till 5 on March 14th. So here we go. I think I'm just so excited to get Dave on, and I think he has a lot to talk about. I know I have some questions, and when I started digging in, I saw that he has some other projects as well that maybe we can touch on. So, what are you all feeling? Should we just get him on? Are you ready? Dave, would you like to come on early? Yeah, he's nodding his head. Okay, Dave, so in the past, my guests have not worked out very well, so my husband reassures me it's going to go well tonight. So let me, number one, remove this from here, and I'm going to add, yay! It worked!
Hello,
Now,
how are you?
I'm good. Oh, that means I have to put these on so I can hear you. I'm great.
Thank you for having me with you tonight. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's such a treat. I have to say that when you put that invitation out on Facebook, I hesitated and hesitated. So I thought, God, we're such a little small show, but I was just so drawn because you're British Columbia too, right? And
That's right.
right. I figured our listeners, how many of us travel up, on holidays and we drive right through 100 Mile House and all of the stops. So I know my husband is super excited. He already knows about you ahead of time. So I felt pretty excited, like I had a bird in my mouth the next morning when I told him, guess what I got? Yeah, he's so tickled pink.
What's your husband's name?
Dave.
Oh, I like him already. Good.
Yeah. So he was just helping me out, and he's very excited about this. And it was funny. I said, like, maybe some people are going to go on the tour, and he said, well, we're going to go on the tour. So I had to start laughing there. Yeah.
Very nice. And thank you for accommodating me and asking. I really do appreciate that. Believe it or not, I don't do a lot of interviews.
Oh.
And I'm just so busy. I have a daytime job, and then every night running Spaced Out Radio. I don't usually have a lot of time, but with my new project, Haunted 108, in 108 Mile Ranch, British Columbia, for those who might be listening from out of town or out of country, that way I can get that in there, that we've started a new venture at the 108 Mile Heritage Site, which is going to be absolutely so much fun. It really is. This area is so haunted and is so unique. Starting a new paranormal tourism company is something that I've never done before. So it's going to be live and learn as we go, but I'm excited about it.
I am super excited for you. I have never participated in a ghost tour before. We did a little one in Minneapolis when we went to like a convention. Gosh, Scott Roberts put it on, and it was in an old theater. But
Right.
I have a question for you. Like I'm jumping all over the place. I've got all these set in chronological order what I wanted to ask you, but I'm just gonna jump right in. Are there gonna be any jumps, or like is there anything that you put into the tour? Because
No,
okay, good, because I won't need
no.
diapers then. Okay.
This is, and believe it or not, I've been asked that quite a bit.
Okay.
So in 2017, when I started the ghost tours, it was originally to try and raise money for the museum because in British Columbia, uh, there are not a lot of places that get government grants for museums and historic sites. And so our museum is one of them. So, I adopted this community about 10 and a half years ago when I moved up here from the lower mainland. And I just fell in love with the area. And a friend of mine's like, "Hey, have you ever checked out our museum?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't." And I really wasn't into paranormal investigation. And realistically, I still am not, but I figured, you know what? I can do something here. And how it kind of got started was in 2015, I had some friends of mine in a paranormal team come up from the lower mainland and they investigated the heritage site. I kind of walked through with them and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. That was the first time I'd been on a paranormal investigation. And then the caretaker named Ken in 2016 passed away.
Oh.
And they were having troubles raising money to get his ashes back to South Africa. So I figured, in my stupid wisdom, what if we did a ghost tour to try and raise money for the museum and to try and maybe raise money to get his ashes back? Well, we had 67 people at $20 a head show up, and we were able to donate like almost $1,400 towards the $2,100 bill. And it was really cool because the remainder of the money that was necessary was actually picked up by the funeral home. They liked what we were doing, and they said, look, whatever you guys raise, we're going to cover the rest to get his ashes back to South Africa. So that was really, really cool. And then a friend of mine who was on the executive at that time, he's like, dude, we might have to do this. So we started in 2017 a once a month ghost tour, and it took off. It was like the people loved it. And we were, some days we would get a few people, especially that was the time in 2017 when we were hit and evacuated by forest fires. So we had to cancel one tour, and the next tour that came around, it was still quite smoky, and people were still a little bit on edge. So, but otherwise, we've been pretty busy since then. And after COVID, there was a little problem with somebody at the museum that I basically told the museum that I'm no longer interested in working as long as this person is on board. He ended up leaving a couple years later, and in 2023, pardon me, the new president of the historical site, her name is Kelly, just a fantastic person. She came back to me and she's like, I'm the new president. I want to look at redoing these ghost tours. Can you tell me what happened? And she's like, so I told her what had happened and why I wasn't doing the tours anymore. And she's like, would you be interested in coming back? And I said, no, not at all. I don't do politics, and I don't, do people who talk bad of me when things are going just fine. We were the museum's biggest donor. And so she's like, well, what if I can change that? And she did. And then last year I took a year off because it was starting to feel like a job. And I decided that I needed a new adventure. So I started researching my first research project called Flight 21, which we could get into later if you want.
Sure.
Excuse me. And then last year they had some issues with the ghost tour, so they had to shut it down early. And then, my partner, she is part of the Heritage Site Committee. She got elected in and has been helping them for a while, about a year and a half now. And she's like, "Would you ever do the ghost tour again?" And I said, "No, I'm having."
So I'm catching it when you say no, there's still a chance.
Yeah, exactly. So I have, along with my paranormal friend Merle, we have been talking for a few years that if you go into the East Coast of the United States, especially, and into the central US, where they have a lot longer history than what we do, there's a lot of paranormal tourism going around there that is bringing in tourists from all over the world. And what it's doing is it's helping save these amazing locations, because you're not looking for government handouts. You're not looking for sponsorship to help you keep going month to month. And they've been able to create a revenue source through paranormal tourism to try and raise money for these locations, and it's been quite successful. So in looking at that pattern, everything in the Cari-BOO lines up. Okay. And we have a lot of hauntings here due to the Gold Rush Trail. We have a lot of UFO sightings, a lot of, people talking about alien abduction. We have a lot of people who have seen Sasquatch, Dogman, little people, and other cryptid type creatures around our area. We have everything that is spooky here. So why not make it into an area where we could use the heritage site, because I absolutely love the place. We could use it to turn it into a paranormal adventure for many people, and for people from around the world who are coming here in springtime, summer, and fall to take advantage of the paranormal atmosphere and have some fun with it. So that's really what we're doing.
So do you actually reside at the 108 Ranch?
I live in the area. I live a few miles away from it.
Okay, so so if do I understand correctly that 108 Ranch is like a historical site, so nobody's really living there,
Right.
but the tours happen there. Okay.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
there are 11 buildings on the site.
Oh, wow.
And with those 11 buildings, they're a lot of them, most of the buildings have been moved there from around different communities that have, needed a home, that they needed saving. Okay. And a lot of the buildings go back 120, 150 years. Right. So it is a place that has culminated with, like, for instance, the original site. It's not like Barkerville or Cottonwood or something like that, where it was originally there. No, this was a piece of land that was donated to put this heritage facility there, bringing in all sorts of buildings that could help bring the history of the Cari-BOO and the Gold Rush to life. And it details a lot of influenced people in this community, from Captain Watson, who died in World War I. Well, his Clydesdale barn, he had up to 100 Clydesdales at one point.
Wow.
And his Clydesdale barn is on the property. It is probably one of the scariest buildings I've ever been in. But every time I do a tour there, I want that building. I want to be in that building because I know where the ghosts are. I mean, we've had people, not to scare people, but we have had people attacked in there. We have had one person possessed in that building, and we've dealt with a lot there. But we've also had some very fun, sprightly spirits. I mean, I was telling a friend of mine, Mike, who's on my team earlier today, I said, we had one time coming out of 2017, We had this one ghost on the bottom floor. We called him the Shadow Man because he always appeared in a shadow. If you took a photo, he would appear in a shadow.
Huh.
And we had a circle of 8 people that were holding K2 meters. And I invited him into the middle of the circle to join us. And once the lights on the K2 meters started going off, I said, okay, my friend, I said, for these great people that are here, could you do us a favor? Could you light up all 8 K2 meters at once? And every K2 meter within seconds went to red.
Oh my God.
Right? It was probably one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. So with Haunted 108, we are going to be taking people on a number of adventures. So it's not just about ghost tours. It is about true paranormal investigations. We're going to teach paranormal classes. We're going to teach cryptid investigation classes, UFO watch classes. We're going to be doing or setting up a bed and breakfast in the McNeil house, which is the main red house as you drive by. So if people want to stay a night or two in the haunted location, they could do that, and they can investigate all night and sleep all day. It really doesn't matter. We're going to be setting that up. We're starting with 1 bedroom in the house. We're hoping to get eventually if we get busy enough over the next couple of years, we're hoping to get to 3 or 4 bedrooms that will be open in the house, but it's going to depend on our success. I think we're going to have a lot of success there. So it is something where we're going to make it a paranormal playground for people from all over the world, and they can come in, have some fun with us, and be a part of the experience.
I just love your sense of vision, Dave. It's just so catchy, and I know you're gonna have great success. Like, yeah, I'm curious, like when we go on a tour with you, are we able to bring any equipment that we maybe have?
Absolutely. I want to preface this. In Canada, there are a lot of ghost walks where you can go to Vancouver or Toronto or Ottawa, and you could say, okay, in that building over there, the ghost of John Brown is in that building. And he was said to haunt this building because he was a workaholic and he worked there all the time. Not with us. We are going into the buildings and we are turning our tour people into paranormal investigators. They get to have an experience. Now, we can't guarantee an experience. Okay. Right. We just can't, because you can't control the phenomena. But what we can do is we can say that we're going to try our best to allow the spirits to come in and allow themselves to participate with you. So, for instance, some of the things we do when we're in buildings, we ask people, hey, ask questions. Take pictures. Take as many pictures as you want, because we as tour guides are not, and this is my rule sorry, I got a little bit of heartburn. I had a little bit too much spice for dinner tonight. But we have a rule that for our tour guides, we are not allowed to take photographs.
Oh.
Okay. And here's the reason why. Because it works out better for us if we get pictures from people like you on the tour.
I get that.
Okay. Because if I take the picture, and I've taken an amazing, amazing photo, and I'm just going to pull this up so I could show you this, and then we'll tell you the story.
Is it the Clydesdale barn one?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Let me just find it here for you.
Get ready, guys.
This is probably, I got a couple pictures that I will share if I can actually figure out what I'm doing, because I talked myself into this and I wasn't prepared. I do apologize.
Oh, hey.
Where did I
Very
put it?
organic here. And while you're doing that, I thought this was really interesting, and so I just love learning. I'm very much into the paranormal. I'm an experiencer myself from a very young age. So I really relate to that. And I'm so excited that that's as well some of your story. Maybe one day we'll get into that a little bit more. But you had said take 3 photos, or someone said on one
Yes.
of your, and I love that idea because I'm taking 1 photo and it never occurred to me if you take 3, and I'll let you say why you think that.
Well, we take 3 photos because you never know what you're going to get. You may not get something in the first photo. The second photo, you may get something that's anomalous, and the third photo, it may not be there. So if you
But
take 3 right in a row, you're going to be good. Can you pull up the picture that I just?
oh, I see it. Yes, add to stage.
All right. So
Sweet.
this is Captain Watson. Captain Watson built the barn, commissioned to build our Clydesdale barn in 1908.
Wow.
Okay. It was finished around 1909, 1910. He died in 1912, 1911, 1912. No, pardon me. He died in 1915 in the First World War in the Battle of Ypres in Belgium. And in 2019, I was in the building and I was taking some photos. And the main photo there of Captain Watson, I had never seen that picture before until 2024. And when I put it side by side with one of the pictures I took in the stall of one of the Clydesdale barn stalls, you'll see that they are very much in line with each other.
Yes, you can see the profile.
You could see the deep and dark eyes, you could see the mustache, the nose, the military hat, the cheekbones, the way everything is just kind of posing.
It almost seems as if there's an insignia on his hat as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Excuse me. So there's a lot of real interest in what we are seeing in here right now. So it is something that I find very interesting in that photo. Now I'm going to switch this up, and I don't want people to get freaked out by this here, but
Is this the Scar Man?
yeah.
I know. I wanted to put this photo on. I'm so glad that you're.
So the original photo is right here. I've just brought that up.
Okay. There we go. Get ready, guys.
Do you mind removing the chat there for a second?
I don't mind at all. Let me see. There we go.
Okay.
Gone.
So this photo was taken in 2019 or in 2017 by a former retired school teacher in our area named Connie. Connie came on the ghost tour with her friend because her friend was in all of the paranormal shows and really into it. And she really was not, but her friend didn't want to come on the tour alone. So Connie is upstairs in the barn, and you'll see a stairwell there going up to the catwalk that goes the length of the barn. And where it gets a little bit interesting is the gentleman on the stairwell. Now, one of the rules we have during the ghost tour is nobody is allowed on the stairwell and nobody is allowed on the upper catwalk for safety. Okay? And yet, here was this image of this gentleman staring back at Connie. And what was really scary about it, and I'm going to send you a photograph to zoom in here.
Okay.
When we zoom in on him, okay, you will see that he is not very human. In fact, he was not there in other photos, and our tour guide at the time did not allow anybody upstairs, and she was a real pit bull for making sure people didn't go up on the stairs. But if you look closely at him, there is a scar running down his forehead in between his eyebrows, and it's kind of curved. Now, a lot of people will say, well, look at the bottom right. It looks like the head of a person underneath that log. That is true. That was a gentleman on the tour. He was a bald man, and he was wearing a black trench coat type jacket and looking in the opposite direction. We have no idea who this gentleman is. You can see his shoulder to his elbow to his hand holding onto the railing There is something kind of blurred out behind him. We don't know what that is. Now, this gentleman here knows his own strength. Okay, he has attacked me and my tour partner Mark a couple of times each.
Wow.
He is somebody who we had to cut a deal with him to keep our tours safe. So, for instance, we make sure nobody is allowed up on his catwalk. We make sure that there is whiskey bottles up there for him to have a shot of whiskey whenever he wants. We know that back then, if you go back to periodic times, most people smoked back then. So we have cigarettes up there for him. Anything to keep him happy. Now, on the tour, I would say about 80% of people will get a sighting of him. And how that happens, if you could go back to the original photo that I sent you.
Oh, yeah. This one?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you look at the top of the where the stairway goes to the top of the catwalk.
Yeah.
Okay. He will stand up on that fence railing and he will lean on that fence railing and he will look down and he will kind of look around trying to figure out why there are people in his barn. Okay. And what most people will see is they won't see the physical image of him, but they will see like a blurry image that if I'm looking at you, okay, and you're blurry, and all you see is like this blurry aura of two shoulders coming up and then a head coming up.
Okay.
And that's how we know he is there. And when we go into the other room right behind that log wall that you see underneath the catwalk, he'll actually follow us down the catwalk. And he's always making sure he knows where the people are. Right? Mm-hmm. So he's pretty intense. I don't know his name. I don't care to know his name. What I care about is making sure that people are safe in his area. So that's kind of cool. I really like him.
Has anyone ever, is it EVP, like tried to communicate with him?
We have had people, the ladies from Beyond the Haunting tried to talk to him. I've tried talking to him. My paranormal team, Merle, has tried talking to him, or my paranormal buddy, Merle, and his team tried talking to him. They believe that he was injured in a fire. They believe that he did not have a good life. There's questions about what his name may be, whether it's Paul or Peter, one of those older names. I've never asked him his name. When I go up on the catwalk to say hello to him or I'm in his area, I'm really not pressing with any gear or any type of communication device. If he wants to talk to me, he can talk to me. But out of respect for him and his area, I don't usually try to.
I imagine you can feel like his energy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably pretty palpable. Yeah. Wow.
Now, the museum in general gets a lot of transient spirits walking around. Mm. And the reason why is because one of the buildings that we have is called a post house. Okay. And the post house is a place where today's term for it would be a hostel.
Okay, I wondered what it meant. Was that the post office? I was going to ask.
And that's what I thought first. So, okay, for people in British Columbia, 100 Mile House is 100 miles from Lillooet. Okay, and from there, every mile or two, there would be what we call it now, a post house or a hostel that would bring spirits, or not spirits, sorry, I'm combining the two, would bring prospectors up towards the Klondike where they were going to prospect for gold, or the guys who already made their riches or lost everything coming back down, where they would have a place to sleep. They'd be able to have food. They'd be able to feed their horse, maybe have a bath and a beer, a poker game, a lady of the night. Right. Okay. These post houses had a lot of interaction in them. The McNeil house, which is our main house on the property, that house used to also be a hostel back in the 40s and 50s. And so it saw a lot of interaction with different types of people in there as well. So there is a lot of transient spirits that walk the property. Maybe they liked it when they were coming up this area. Maybe they're stuck here. I don't know. Maybe they're looking for their gold. One of the legends around the heritage site and the post house there is a legend of Agnes McVie. Now it's alleged that Agnes murdered 62 people in the post house. Now, there's a little controversy around Agnes because her story has been known for decades. However, there is no physical proof or written proof that she ever lived in 108 Mile and that if she ever owned the post house. So we do know that a lady named Agnes McVie came over from Scotland after killing allegedly 2 people and running from police. She jumped on a ship and she made her way to Canada, making her way to the East Coast, eventually making her way to New Westminster, which was the capital of British Columbia and kind of a check-in point for people coming into the country. And then there was record of her going up to Kamloops and setting up shop there. From there, there is no record of her coming up to the 108. And however, there are people who believe that they have seen her, that they have dealt with her, that there is her spirit walking around the facility. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If you're a longtime resident of British Columbia, there's an old real estate company called Block Brothers that goes back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. They were pretty big in BC. And the Block Brothers, back in the 70s, developed the 108 Mile Ranch in order to create kind of like cottage country for the Vancouverites who had too much money to spend back then, where they were trying to make it like Whistler, north of Whistler. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
And so the story goes that they felt they needed something to draw people in. So they figured they would come up with this legend of Agnes McVie and murdering all of these people in order to try and create some history for the area, in order to attract people and say, look, this area is haunted and this area has spookiness, but it's really nice and beautiful and lots of trees. And look at the size of these properties, where the average property size is half an acre. And, you know, I mean, you go from your cookie cutter subdivisions in Vancouver to all of a sudden having a half an acre for your cottage. Oh my goodness, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that was something that was intriguing to them. And a lot of the old timers who've lived here a long time have heard that story. So the question now in the debate is Agnes McVie a real person where her spirit is here, still walking the grounds of the heritage site and the post house? Or is it what we call a tulpa, where so many people over the years have put energy into this Agnes McVie character that we've actually created a spirit named Agnes McVie, and that's who's walking? We don't know. It's an interesting concept. Now, I will tell you, every tour that I have done since 2017 has had people asking about the legend of Agnes McVie. So it's one of those little mysteries that we have going on at the heritage site that will be part of the tour.
So you're saying you don't know? Do you, like, I know you wouldn't know for certain. What are you hedging on, though? Do you think it's a tulpa?
I do.
And you know what? Just for people in the audience, maybe, Dave, could you explain a little bit about what a tulpa is?
Sure.
Okay,
A
thank
tulpa
you.
is a figure that comes to life spiritually because so many people put energy into it. Like, give you an example. Nobody ever heard of Slender Man until Slender Man started appearing in creepypasta stories about 20 years ago. And now, because so many people have put their energy and research and time into learning about the Slender Man, all of that energy goes into the universe. And now people are claiming to have encounters with Slender Man. Another example of that is in the 1970s. These parapsychologists in Toronto actually tried a paranormal experiment. And if you have time to look this up, I highly suggest you do, because it's one of my favorite paranormal stories. It's called the Philip experiment. Now, what they did was they created a character named Philip. And I forget the last name that they gave him, but they gave him a height, they gave him a weight, they gave him eye color, hair color, where he was born, how he died, who he fell in love with. They created everything about Philip. And then they started doing seances trying to contact Philip. And over a period of months, Philip started to appear and started to communicate. Now, Philip is a tulpa. He didn't exist until the energy went and came through him. So is that Agnes McVie? I don't know. I have my theory, right? But it needs to be investigated. But I'm not going to take away the mystery of that, because my belief may be different than other people's. My paranormal best friend, Merle, okay, from the Paranormal Road Trippers in Vancouver, he is 100% convinced Agnes McVie is real. He's investigated her. He's tried talking to her. He's got results chatting with her. Is it real? I don't know.
Okay, you've mentioned two people here, and I was doing a little bit more research on you, and I'm super excited. There's a Cari-BOO-Con.
Yes.
So Merle and the ladies, I wrote them down. Corrine, Leanne, and Kelly. Destination Haunted. Those are just a few. You're going to be there, but like you had a whole huge lineup. I think there was 12 speakers so far.
We have 12 speakers coming up for Cari-BOO-Con. I will be speaking. Samantha Mowat, in lifelong ET contactee and intuitive. She lives in Prince George. She's going to be coming down. We have Jacob Rice, who's coming up from Washington State. Lee Strauss, Jacob's Paranormal. Lee Strauss is a UFO / cryptid investigator in Washington State. He's also part of my Spacedoutradio team. He's coming up. We have Grant Cameron, who is a legendary 50-plus year UFO researcher. He's going to be our keynote speaker on the Saturday night. And then the ladies from Destination Haunted will be the keynote speakers on the Sunday. We also have Christian McLeod coming up from North Carolina from American Cryptid and Paranormal Society. We have Brent Thomas from the Paranormal Portal podcast coming up from Idaho to present. We have R. Keith Andrews from Kelowna, who's a lifelong ET contactee, coming on in. We have Paisley Town, a numerologist from Vancouver, coming on up. Am I missing anybody? Now it's going to be bothering me if I'm
sorry to put you on the spot.
No, I appreciate that you did. I do. So there's Grant, there's Corinne, Leanne, and Kelly, myself, Merle, Samantha, Lee, R. Keith, Brent, Paisley, Christian. Oh, Courtney Marcassani is coming down from Alaska. She is one of the premier citizen journalists who is really on top of the whole UFO story. So it's a great time for anybody who has the want to come down. VIP tickets are $179 right now for the weekend of September 18th through 20th. And with that $179, you also get to take part in a Friday night VIP ghost tour at the Heritage Site. Okay. You also on the Saturday night will get to either choose between another ghost tour or a UFO Skywatch that Lee is going to put on, try and summon in some UFOs. A lucky 10 people will go with me to our Sasquatch site to try and have interactions with Sasquatch. I can only take 10 people out there, but it'll be fun nonetheless. What else can I say? So we're going to have a lot of interaction. And one thing that's different with our conference compared to any other type of paranormal supernatural conference or Comic-Con or anything like that goes on, a lot of times when you bring in speakers, you don't see them until the time they speak, and then they just vanish. Like, you want to maybe get an autograph or a picture taken with them or whatever it may be, and you can't find them. With ours, part of our rules for speaking at our event is that our guests have to be there to mingle with people.
I love that.
So Claudette, if all of a sudden you wanted to have a conversation with Samantha, right, or get your picture taken with R. Keith Andrews or Jake Rice or whoever, they're going to be there. And it's not just that they're going to be there for an allotted time. They're going to be there all weekend. So one of the rules that we have for our speakers, and I got this from a friend of mine, Lorian Fenton, for her conference, is unless it's previously arranged, you arrive there at a certain time Friday before the event starts. You cannot leave until the Monday when the event is already over on Sunday. So that is something that I'm very strict on with our guests coming up, because I want all of our audience to be able to be there to have a good experience. And, I would love it for you to bring a bunch of people down from up north for a great weekend.
Well, we're going. My husband just said in the chat he's off. He's very excited. So I see that there's dry camping too. So there's lots of hotels, but you could bring a camper or a trailer?
Yeah. If you want to bring an RV, we do have room for dry camping for the weekend. So for Cari-BOO-Con. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It really is going to be a lot of fun with people who are like-minded. We're going to have a bunch of booths. So, for instance, if you wanted to set up a booth for your Reiki or your UAHT, we can do that. And that, and we're going to have great food available. We're going to have our people available, and it's going to be an absolute blast.
I so miss gathering with like-minded people. My husband and I, Dave, we used to travel to the UFO Congress in Arizona every year. And then I opened my shop, and we haven't traveled since. And then everything happened in the world. And we've made so many great friends. And I try to explain to people what it's like to attend a conference, because you get to meet the researchers, you get to meet the experiencers, people that are just like you. You can have all of these conversations without looking over your shoulder. It's such a meeting of minds. I've got memories of, someone's got a guitar out and Travis Walton's playing music and we're all singing, and so Dave and I miss that so much. And that's why we're super excited to come. We're going to definitely be coming, Dave Scott. And I'm just looking forward to reconnecting with people of like mind, because it's for experiencers and people in the paranormal. It's hard to find your people, I find, especially in small communities. I don't find that I get the conversations that I'm looking for, where you're pushing and learning and comparing notes and trying to figure things out, right?
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we could do is we can try and bring those people together for a week. And here's the silly part about it is, British Columbia is a big place, and we are the only paranormal conference in our province. The only one. And yeah, there might be other conferences. There's always a lot of spirituality conferences or psychic fairs or whatever, but nobody is dealing with paranormal UFOs or cryptids in British Columbia. We are the only ones doing it. And so we have to be able to tap into those areas to try and sell tickets, to try and sell a little bit of merchandise to try and get people in. And we want to make sure it's fun. I mean, I'll tell you, our tickets right now, the VIP tickets are on sale for $179.99. Okay, that equals
That's
out
very
to,
reasonable.
it's $60 a day. If you go to Contact in the Desert, you're looking at 400 to 500 American to get in.
American people.
Okay, so that's almost $1,000 bill for a weekend. You haven't. Now they're going to inflate the hotel costs. They're going to inflate everything, your food costs, your drink costs. Okay, and they have so many speakers there, and I love the guys at Contact in the Desert. I do.
Yeah.
Okay, I know them all, but I can say this: it's hard, and I got friends who go down there every year who've wanted to meet certain people, and those people, the minute they're done speaking, vanish, and you don't see them the rest of the weekend because everybody kind of clicks up and has their private parties, their private get-togethers, or they're like, okay, I don't like the madness, so I'm done right after this. Whereas we're like, bring it on, let's have some fun. And in the meantime, how cool would it be for you, Claudette, if you and Dave are into the paranormal, to all of a sudden get in a group with Jacob or Merle or Brent and go, or Christian, and go investigate the ghosts.
My friend Linda in the chat's probably laughing. I'm very chicken shit, but I'm so interested in it. Dave buys me all the toys, and I think it's because I used to see so much when I was younger, and I've had so many experiences growing up like that. I'm not sure how I'll react. I want to do it, but I know everything is quite real. And so for me, it's like, I feel like it's, this is going down the paranormal rabbit hole a bit, but I find like when you start doing stuff like that, it kind of opens everything else up. And I just feel like all of the stuff starts happening at a more accelerated pace. Like, I don't know. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Like the woo-woo just picks up a notch, and it can get almost uncomfortably scary.
And you know what? You're not the only one. But our tour is not scary. We don't have people jumping out from behind walls to go boo in scary costumes. This isn't a haunted house.
Okay. Because that's what I need. I'm just because I'm coming from a real place of having lots of experiences. So, but I'm very curious, but I like the idea that you're saying there's no jump outs. We're literally going to have an experience, and it's
absolutely.
And if it shows itself, if they show themselves, then
we've had some cool things happen over the time. We have had not only ghosts, whether it's knocking on walls, but some of the cooler experiences we've had is in the main house. We have a ghost cat. we do. I'll show you a picture of him. Let me just find him here. Where are you here, my friend? Where are you? I got you here somewhere.
What are we doing for
time? I didn't download that photo yet. Let me find it here for you here.
Sure. So September 18th through the 20th this year, and it's Cari-BOO-Con.com. I should put that in the chat here while you're doing that. Cari-BOO. I like that. Boo is big letters. Cari-BOO-Con.com. I need better bifocals. Cari-BOO-Con.com. All right. Yeah, and I would love to do a sky watch too. I think that would be super cool. Dave and I did that CE5 thing. God, this was probably like 15 years ago. We sat in our yard, and it was extremely successful to the point where we hauled ass back into the house with our lawn chairs. We were shitting ourselves. Oh my God, what we saw was crazy. Yeah, so...
Yeah, it's going to be a great time for a lot of us to kind of be there and come together and make things work. And I'm a big fan of the promotion of it all. And I can't wait to see people and meet people and show them what we have going on in this community that is another source. I mean, look, you live in a rural area like I do. The only difference between where you are and I am is probably about 4 feet of snow and major wind.
Yeah, you
Okay.
got it.
Right. And, but you're surrounded by mountains, you're surrounded by forests and rivers, just like I am. There's a lot of strange things that happen up there. And,
Oh, yeah.
and, and trust me, I've heard some of the stories. I had a number of years ago, I had a gentleman from Dawson Creek actually contact me that he was out one night. He had this place where he would go up in the mountain and overlook the city, and he actually had a dogman encounter.
I haven't heard Dogman out here. Cool.
Yeah, and he's like, I hopped in my vehicle, I turned my lights on, and where the trees were making noise and strange noises, and all of a sudden, at about 7-8 feet, the head of a dog came out from behind the trees, and it was on 2 legs.
Wow.
And he got the hell out of there. He didn't even bother looking back. And when you look at stories like that, or I've had conversations with people near you, well, not really near you, but map geographically near you in Fort St. John, where I've talked to First Nations people up there who literally have said that at night on their reserve, they're told not to go out into the forest at night or follow any strange sounds because the green men will take you. Well, what are the green men? Well, they're like reptilians.
No.
Yes.
I got to tell you something. I used to live just on the other side of the border of Dawson. So in a Bay Tree. It's called Bay Tree, Alberta. A little tiny property or like rural community. And I swear to God, that place was a portal.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I had so much stuff happen there. I had orbs flying through my room. I had apparitions in my room. I just feel like this area, as like what you're saying, there is so much here. I don't know. I'm really hoping with this show eventually that I'll start having guests come on and people can start sharing their stories. So if anyone's listening from our area, you are not going to be ridiculed on this show. Like this is my makeup. I'm here to just hear your story and to give you a voice. So yeah, I love that you shared that. The Green Man, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. Apparently it happens quite frequently. I've got another image I want to show you here. I'm just going to share my screen here. Where is it? Right? No, that ain't it. Hold on.
I love that you're on StreamYard too. You know exactly what to do.
Oh, yeah. I kind of have a... Where the hell is it now? Why is that not popping up? Why is that not popping up? Let's get rid of that. Let's try this again. Cancel. Because I really want to show you this picture.
The ghost cat.
Yeah.
And what is that I got here? Are you still looking for volunteers?
No, I think we've got our volunteers pulled up. But if you look at this photo here.
Okay, here it is. Add to stage. What the heck is that?
So.
Oh, right.
The bright lights that you're seeing, the yellow, blue, and green, I'm sitting on a chair. And my buddy Merle is sitting just in that dark spot on the left. The person sitting to the right, that's Lee Strauss. And then this is an impressive, it's kind of like a REM pod, but it's like a REM pod on steroids. And I took this picture because the lights were just perfect. But when we took the picture, if you look, there's a little red dot right in the middle of it. If you see that red dot.
Yep.
Now look above the red dot.
Oh my God.
The head of a cat.
Okay.
You see the ears. You see shape of a cat.
I totally see it.
Yeah.
Wow. If you're listening, you might have to enlarge the photo because that's what I just did, and you can clearly see it. Yeah.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, but there's a ghost cat right there in the picture.
Huh.
And yeah, that's kind of cool. There's our, and then if you keep it going, there's our lovely barn, our A-frame barn.
It's a huge, beautiful barn. Dave and I watched, there were two men doing, like, like they were, I don't forget what the terminology would be, but they were doing like a ghost hunt in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just couldn't believe how beautiful that barn was.
Yeah. For the record, going forward, if any paranormal teams do want to investigate the heritage site, we will require a payment and a legal waiver, or pardon me, liability insurance for the team. And the reason why we're having to do that is because in the United States right now, it's actually kind of sad. But in the United States right now, there are a lot of locations that are being what's the word I'm looking for? Mistaken for extremely haunted places. So what's happened is people who have TikTok, YouTube or Instagram followers and are into the paranormal, they are starting to deem all of these places with demons.
Oh,
because demons, paranormal and demons are clickbait words for views. And so a lot of businesses and museums and saloons and pubs and hotels are now making sure that they are charging for that, and they have the right to reserve anything and everything that goes on their social media channels, because in the end, these are businesses trying to survive. And in fact, there was one paranormal team a few years ago that I'm going to leave their name out, that went into the Bailey House in Merritt. And the Bailey House used to have this chalk drawing. So when you started to go downstairs into the basement of the Bailey House, if you looked on the ceiling as that was angled going down, somebody, and they have no idea who did it or how it got there, had put a chalk drawing of an angel and a devil. And there were sayings on there. And in the end, with those sayings, it creeped them out a little bit because they had no idea who had put those up there. They just appeared one day. Okay. And this paranormal team went in there, and they're one of these teams that goes in and we're going to clear all the spirits and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Well, they went in there, and without permission, they painted over the chalk.
No. Oh my God.
They vandalized the museum. So when a paranormal team, let's say Claudette's paranormal team, wants to come in and spend a weekend at the heritage site,
right,
there's going to be a $550 fee for 2 nights. Your investigation times are going to be for up to 6 hours per night.
Okay.
You have to have liability insurance. And number 2 is plus the $550 if you have more than 10 people on your team or 10 people coming. We have to have caretakers follow you, because we're not going to allow, in the end, our museum is about is about the spirits. We have to keep the spirits happy. That's their home. I get to come here to my home every day. I get to, spend time with my family. They are stuck there for whatever reason. in their spiritual world, that's where they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
And
Dave, like the way I look at it is because I'm clinically trained as a hypnotherapist, so I see ghosts as souls that just haven't crossed over, and they're simply humans. Most of them are humans with human stories, and for a variety of reasons, they haven't crossed over. And so, if you think about how you relate to the people in your life, that's how you should be relating to them with a lot of compassion
absolutely.
and just an open heart.
Absolutely. But you know that, and I know that. But there are people out there, Claudette, who they will do anything for those clicks. They will do anything for those shares and the revenue that comes along with them. Look, a million view video could be the difference between $5,000 to $10,000,
Oh my God.
right?
That's money talks, I guess, right?
Money talks. But when you throw in demons and you throw in all the clickbait garbage that is out there, this is what's happening. So you really have to be careful with whom you're associating with, number one, but number two, who you're allowing into your private facility. And the problem is a lot of these museum caretakers, they don't know me from you, from the next paranormal investigator, because they're not in our realm. Okay.
Right.
They're not in our group. Look, to take a prime example of this, if you go up to the Quesnel Museum that has one of the most haunted dolls in the world, Mandy
Yes.
the Haunted Doll is rated one of the top 10 most haunted dolls in the world. Okay. And they get weekly, they get psychics in there where I'm going to cleanse Mandy. And they'll be like, take your best shot. Take your best shot. You can't get her. But they're like, yeah, I got her. I got her, you know? And so it's ridiculous, you know, the ego that goes along with this topic. And we have to, in the end, protect the museum, and we have to protect our client, which is Haunted 108 is a subsidiary of Bigfoot Broadcasting Limited, which is the owner of Spaced Out Radio. Okay. And Haunted 108 has to make sure that the 108 Heritage Site, their board of directors, and the spirits that roam there are safe. So it's one of those cool things that we have to do.
I think, again, that is, I don't know what code of conduct is what comes to mind when you talk about that, like with the Quesnel and the doll. Like, I think that anytime that you're thinking you're going to go cleanse or do anything, there should be express permission given.
Yeah, but people don't care. That's the big thing. People don't care. And it's not that they don't want to care, but they're going to be the ones to break the case. They're going to be the ones who, ego gets involved, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Right?
right. It's unfortunate.
Absolutely.
You know what? We're referring to Spaced Out Radio. We've got a little bit of time, Dave. Can you explain a little bit about why listeners would want to go and listen to you and how they can listen to you, and maybe some of your
Absolutely.
social media platforms?
We are all over. You can download us on any major podcast network for free. You can watch us for free on YouTube. We're live Monday through Friday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Mountain, 5 days a week. We are a 3-hour talk show. The only thing I ask for in return is hit subscribe or go shopping at my store, because we do not have ugly swag. There's nothing ugly. And social media wise, on X, we're at Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, Cari-BOO-Con.com, and haunted108.com. Those are my websites. And, check us on out. We are, I come from the aspect of not only being a journalist for as long as I have been, but I'm also a rarity in our field where not only am I a journalist, but I'm a multiple experiencer of the unknown as well. So I end up having a unique perspective on the way things are.
Mm-hmm. I I love that. Like I had your bio here, and being new here to doing shows, I didn't read it out loud, but I'm just looking here. Like Dave here graduated from BCIT with a diploma in broadcast communication, and he's spent nearly a decade as a radio journalist and reporter covering high profile sports like NHL. And you also, with your radio show, I'm listening to it on Twitter. That seems to be when I catch it. I'll go on, and I love just watching you guys. And the cool thing on Twitter, listeners, is you get to see the in-betweens.
Yeah, same as on YouTube as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I did subscribe to you on YouTube, and I'll probably start catching, because I'll be able to watch the older shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you also, he received an award, everyone, outside of the box tourism. And that was given to him from the Cari-BOO-Con Coast Tourism Association. So yeah, I mean, not that there's any doubt of the validity and the greatness of your project, but I thought it would be nice to let everybody know that. Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you taking time with us, Dave. Like, I know you're super busy, and it was such a pleasure to talk to you. I'll be supporting you from the outside, and I'm definitely going to show up at your Cari-BOO-Con with some swag on.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Go to spacedoutradio.com/shop. And like I said, we have nothing ugly there. I make sure, it's funny with our store. I came up with that slogan because I've been to a number of paranormal conferences, UFO conferences, and Bigfoot conferences. And I've looked through, because I figured I want a Bigfoot t-shirt, or I want a nice UFO t-shirt, but I don't want it to look tacky. I don't want it to look like this is something that I would wear to a flea market. I want something that I can wear out in public, and maybe wear to a concert or a restaurant or whatever. And so we've come up with some really cool fashion logos that kind of suit our topics a little bit more than just the average person's. I don't want to slam anybody's work, but that's why I just say, go look, and you will notice we have no ugly swag.
I love it. I heard you saying that last night, no ugly swag. And I thought, I'm going to be going to check that out. Is there anything, I know before we go to, I want to make sure that everybody knows you have posted as well the schedule for the ghost tours for 2026. And it looks like you just meet somewhere, like I forget what the spot was that you meet, but it's like an hour before the tour starts. There's no pre-registration.
Yeah. So about half an hour before the tour starts, everybody meets in front of the McNeil House, which is the main red house on the museum, because we have to get everybody to sign waivers. And we also have to, we get a lot of walk-in people who will pay up there. Then after that is done at 8:00, we take everybody into the church on the museum site, where we kind of go over a quick 5-10 minute speech on the rules of the tour. And, it is about having fun, but we also have to make sure everybody is safe as well, and we're pretty strict about it. So for instance, we've had people come in a little bit too much on the hippie lettuce, and we've had people come in a little too intoxicated. We've had to tell them, no, you can't come on the tour. There is safety issues. And if there's any dark spirits roaming around, because we do have a lot of transients, they're going to attach themselves to you, and we cannot take that chance. We after the tour is done, the tour usually lasts about 2 to 2.5 hours. And if the buildings are really hot and you're the final person in the building, we may stay a little bit longer.
Right? So I will make sure I'm the last person on the tour.
And then for anybody who needs it, we will sage or cleanse anybody who wants to be cleansed before going home, to make sure they're not taking any attachments home. But the other projects that we're working on, like for instance, the paranormal courses, the actual paranormal investigations, we will have a price guide at haunted108.com. So there's going to be a lot of information out there as we move forward.
I have thoroughly enjoyed this, and it's been a great pleasure to meet you, Dave Scott, and I look forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you. I look forward to meeting you and your husband, Dave, as well down here. Hopefully, maybe a couple times, once for the tour and once for the Cari-BOO-Con.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Wasn't that amazing? I've enjoyed it so much getting to know Dave. We all got to know him together, and I'm so excited the interview went well. Like, the audio worked. I think, like Dave suggested, possibly maybe we should think about going as a group. Even if we don't all travel in the same vehicle, we could pick a date and all of us as a group travel down. We'll be a caravan of people from Dawson Creek going and having our own little ghost tour. It'll be all of us together. I'm game, and I think I could tell by the comments in the chat room, a few of you would be totally game to do that. Beware, Claudette screams a lot. She gets scared very easily, but I am bound and determined that I need to fight this fear. It's like I say, it's a fear that comes from early experiences throughout my life. And there's a little bit of like, if you keep it kind of hazy, then it's not as real in your world. And I find that I've had to like carefully structure my world so that you can have one foot in this 3D world and one foot in this other world. But my goal for my future is I want to be wide open to all of this. And I think by doing that, I'm going to be able to make a lot more closure on my own experiences. So I encourage everybody else, let's go have an adventure together. Support Dave, support British Columbia. Like Dave was saying, we've only got, really, this is the only con that I know of, like, that's talking about the paranormal, UFOs, ETs, like Sasquatch, cryptids, all of this. Like, just hearing Dave use the word tulpa, I love all this. This is making me so excited, and I can tell you guys are excited too. So we need to support this gathering, and even if you can't go, I'm sure, like, say you can even buy a ticket, even if you're not going, you can still buy a ticket and you're supporting them. That money's all going to go towards their event. And let me tell you, we know from putting our event here in town, the thousands and thousands of dollars, like looking at that list of speakers, I can't even imagine what kind of big purse string is involved to bring all of those people. And you're going to get to hang out with them. I can't stress enough how it's just, you find your people at these gatherings and you start to network, and they're real live people. I remember the first time we traveled to a conference, my husband said, Claudette, they're real people just like us. And I made such great friends. I remember Travis Walton said, Claudette, you just book the place. Tell me when to come. I'll come and do a talk. I know that we could be doing great things here. So let's support Dave. I don't think I have the piss and vinegar in me anymore to be creating new things, but Dave sure does. And I'm excited to see what him and his team will create. So don't forget, we'll talk about it again next week. We've got our gathering on St. Paddy's Day. Next week, we're going to do astrology, everybody's sun signs. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us for this show, for meeting Dave Scott. And I'm going to have all of the links, as much as I can find on Dave, all in the show notes in the YouTube channel. I'm going to love you and leave you, and we're going to play our wonderful song. Have a great night. Oh, what do we see here? Vaughn says, Claudette, I went to see Dave and Spaced Out Radio Clan in Reno. Oh, see, yeah, you don't forget stuff like that. You so don't. Like, you make friendships for life. I love that. Thank you to everyone who joined tonight. It was just such a treat to see that chat room just going. Good night, everyone. Go over here.
Sometimes it's hard to find a reason why, when everything is falling and all that's left to do is try your best to keep holding on to the next sunrise. But you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. Sometimes a mountain means it's time to climb higher than you've been before. So hold on tight and close your eyes. You'll make it faster than you know. Closer to the sunrise. 'Cause you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found. Where the light is found. Where the light is found. Where the light is found. Just look inside where light is found. You're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone when everything feels dark around. Just look inside where light is found.